Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'm going to reveal my Game Week 7 team. I'll also quickly look back on Game Week 6, consider the best midfielders to get in future moves. I'll also look ahead to the fixtures to come beyond Game Week 7. Before I do that, I just wanted to plug the Goals Imminent podcast that I do every Thursday with Mark Joblin. From Fantasy Football Scout. We look at underperforming, low-owned players for managers to consider to shake up the template. Used to be in video form last season, now in podcast form. Myself and Mark obviously are too beautiful for you to look at us together. So we're in podcast form. It's every Thursday from your usual podcast places. And just as a way to plug it, these were the successes we had last time. We predicted returns for Ruta, no one owns him. Tavernier, Semenyo, to be expected there. Johnson got a goal and an assist. Gordon, goal. Kulusevski, we predicted return from, goal. And Pereira as well, got an assist as well. Sadly, no returns from Bruno Fernandes. So tune in every Thursday where you usually get your podcast from to hear who is next on the goals and assist imminent tables, who is due a goal in Game Week 7. So look forward to speaking to you then. Okay, let's have a look at my previous game week. Now, I wildcarded into this. So it's a weird game week. I don't often get such a bad score when you wildcard. I got 39 points, considerably below average. Red arrow, I'm down to 2 million. I went for Flecken and Verbruggen, so you can call them Verbrucken or Fleckugen, whichever branch of IKEA you're shopping in at the time. Instead of getting Raya and non-playing Fabianski or someone like that. I'm okay with this. This was my original plan. I'm okay with this. Well, I mean, as it turned out, I'm glad I didn't double on the Arsenal defence. I think they might have better luck against Southampton next time. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Alexander-Arnold, Gabriel, Lewis for a total of 4 points between those three defenders there. Semenyo, goal, very nice. Luis Diaz blanked, but I'm okay with him for the time being. Saka, 3 points, almost some bonus, but yeah, happy with him. His delivery is so good. I saw the game last night against PSG, and wow, Saka's such a good player, so young, but he's so good. Brian Mbomo, standard early goal, 9 points. Thank you very much. Could be expected. I went for Havertz because without Raya, I went for Havertz because I like that sort of price point. I like Solanke. Jackson is an option as well, and obviously I don't want to lock myself out of with a structure, so I can't get Watkins. So Watkins is about $1 million away from Havertz, so that's easily got to. So I'm happy with that. He rewarded me with the last-minute goal. He scored again in midweek, and so yeah, very happy to play him against Southampton. Haaland captain. This was the big problem. Just 4 points there. Meanwhile, the likes of say Palmer got a good haul. Salah, with a popular captain, did well as well. Obviously, Ollie Watkins I don't own, did score. Chris Wood blank there, but I'm okay with him. I've got Rodgers 7 points on the bench, so my choice really was sort of Rodgers or I guess Chris Wood. So you know, I'm going to get that wrong some weeks. I'm happy with that though. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 goals. And that, but terrible score obviously. Mikalenko is on my bench as well, and Greaves. So I went for Mikalenko and Rico Lewis instead of Van der Ven and Conser, which I was mooting last week. The reason I didn't go for that is because I just felt that Rico Lewis is going to play or not play. I think he's got assist potential. He assisted Haaland midweek in the Champions League. And Mikalenko, I think, is a good backup there. Also, last week, if I'd have got Van der Ven in, I wouldn't have enjoyed his points because I would have benched him for Conser. Because that's what I would have done. With Rico Lewis, I'm just going to play him. And if he doesn't play, well, Mikalenko could come in. Rico Lewis could come on at half-time and get an assist. Who knows? So I'm happy. You know, he plays for Man City. Whereas Van der Ven and Conser, I'm going to... Well, as proved last weekend, I'm probably going to get that wrong as well. I went for Greaves over Vandenberg because it doesn't really matter, really, because I'll probably never play that role. But it's good to know they're there. It's good to know they're nailed on. I'm just going to take a quick sip of tea because my throat's just going slightly. Hang on a second. Okay, so yeah, it's a weird week, terrible week, but I actually really love this team, despite it letting me down. I'm happy with all my picks. I'm happy the decisions I made. Okay, let's have a look at the next game week. Okay, so I had a picture of Havertz smiling in the last one. I've got a picture of Saka in midair, flying with a football, about to. I don't know what sure he's going to do with that football, but anyway, he looks poised for a return. So this way, I've got Flecken again at home to Wolves. Alexander-Arnold, and I've got a 3-5-2 this time round. Alexander-Arnold away to Crystal Palace. Gabriel home to Southampton. Lewis home to Fulham. Semenyo away to Leicester. I mean, these are great fixtures, aren't they? And good players. Luis Diaz away to Crystal Palace. I'm recording this on Wednesday. By the time you watch this, will be Thursday morning. So we'll know how many minutes, if at all, he gets midweek in the Champions League. Obviously, if he gets 90 minutes or gets a strong set of minutes there, say Gakpo doesn't start, Diaz does, then I might possibly make a move, or I might just bring in my first sub. And this is why, freshly wildcarded, so I should have a good first sub. Anyway, Luis Diaz there. Saka, he's my vice-captain at home to Southampton. Could be a captain, though. Brian Mbeumo home to Wolves. I'm expecting a goal from him. Rodgers gets the nod at home to Manchester United. I think that's a better fixture than Chris Wood has away to Chelsea, although I don't mind playing Chris Wood. I've got Havertz home to Southampton, and Haaland home to Fulham is my captain. He got 61 minutes midweek, so he should start as you would expect, and he's at home. Verbruggen is on my bench. Chris Wood's my first sub. Mikalenko is there ready if Lewis misses out, and Greaves is there as well away to West Ham. So it's a good set of fixtures, really. Potential issues I might have. So I mentioned Diaz as well. I'm going to show a little table I did of midfielders. So I might want, if we get, it's the early game on Saturday, so we might get words that he's benched. The minutes he gets midweek might tell that as well. So I'm faced with the choice. Either just bench him and play Chris Wood, save the transfer, or move him out for a midfielder that I'm sort of planning to get anyway as part of a long-term plan, which I'll talk about in a sec. The other issue could be Rico Lewis. He played the full 90 minutes midweek, but that was on Tuesday. Plays again at the weekend. I mean, who knows whether he'll. I mean, I hope he does. It's a really strong fixture. I know the bookies think there's got a strong chance for a clean sheet there. So I'm going to play him and hope either he starts or comes on, gets an assist, or doesn't come on at all. In which case, Mikalenko comes on and he has a worldie against Newcastle at home. So that's sort of my issue I'm looking at there. So what I mentioned about midfielders as well, so it's a good chance to have a little look at midfielders and recap. So as I said, I'm pretty happy with my midfielders, but one of the reasons I got Luis Diaz in and Havertz is that they were quite highly priced and good players in their price point. So from Luis Diaz, I can move down to a whole bunch of good strikers, and we'll show some good midfielders. And I'll show some in a second. Similar with Havertz, I can move him down to, say, Kuna, and I'll explain a bit about why I'm interested in him in a sec. But I could also get, say, Solanke. I could also move up to Watkins as well. So these are the two positions, like when their fixtures term, or in Diaz's case, coming back from international break, I'm quite happy to move, and I can do quite easily with this structure. Okay, so let's have a look at some midfielders. Okay, so these are the best midfielders all matches. I've sorted this by minutes per expected goal involvement. No surprise, Palmer is top. I can get to him if I, not at the moment, but in a week or two, if I wanted to. Saka would have to make way, or Haaland would have to make way, or Diaz and Havertz would have to make way. I'd have to go down to a 4.5. I spoke to FPL General on his video this week. He's got a 3-5-2. He doesn't feel quite comfortable with it, even though he did very well last week. And perhaps that could prove to be the formation to go for. 3-5-2, 4.5 million striker you never heard of, never play them. And then that enables you to be able to get Haaland, Palmer and Saka. But what if you want Salah? Now, that is a real stretch. And I don't think you can get Haaland, Salah and Saka. So what? Haaland has to go, maybe, if you want Salah in. Saka and Palmer have to go. So that's why I'm not so interested in Palmer. I know he got 4.4 goals last week. I think Nottingham Forest spoke about Tom's video, Tom Freeman's team reveal video. Have a look at that. We look at the captaincy in great detail. And Nottingham Forest's defence is pretty good. Certainly better than Brighton's at the moment. Anyway, Palmer's there. Maddison, he is an option, 7.5. He's got 3 assists so far, created 13 chances. He has scored, strong for baseline bonus. This is the points that go into the bonus point system that make up the bonus score. He's getting a baseline bonus point every 4.6 minutes. Very, very strong indeed. He's had 7 shots on target. He started all 6 of the matches so far. So I'm very keen on Maddison. Salah, I've got my eye on him, not now, but in the near future. Obviously, he's expensive. 4 assists, 4 goals. I mean, 8 attacking returns, 6 games. Wow, 13 shots on target. He's third, minutes per expected goal involvement every 100 minutes, so pretty much every match. Saka, 10.1. This is why he's a good captaincy shout. 5 assists and a goal, so a goal involvement every match on average so far. Minutes per baseline bonus 4.7, very similar to Maddison's there. 9 shots on target. Diaz is still there. 1 assist, 5 goals. That's 6 attacking returns. Created 9 chances, 8 shots on target. It's all going to be about minutes for him. And also, he's after international break, he's going to be amongst those with a long journey back. So he can be moved. Coincidentally, Spurs fixtures improve around, now, really. They play Brighton. Brian Mbomo's there. So very happy to see him there. He's in my team. Semenyo, very happy to see him there. He's had 7 shots on target. Brian Mbomo's had 8 shots on target. Brian Mbomo's created 11 chances, by the way. I flagged up McNeil. He is an option because if I want to get Salah at some point, I'm going to need to free up some money. Diaz down to McNeil. And I'll put the fixtures up in a sec. Everton's fixtures are still strong. Good job we recommended him last week in a lot of the videos because he exceeded more assist potential, but he's got goal scoring potential now. Very good player. He's 5.6 now. I think he went up in price last night. This was 5.5 when I did this. Couple of assists, 3 goals, 5 attacking returns for 5.6. Wow. Created 21 chances, 1 more than Saka. Wow. Strong for baseline bonus, 5 shots on target. So huge potential there. Very happy to go down to him. My other option is Johnson. I'm quite also if I go Diaz to Johnson, either this game week or the next game week, he's down to 6.4. He may have gone up in price overnight, but he's around that anyway. A couple of assists, couple of goals, 4 attacking returns as well. Just 5 starts, and he is getting sort of subbed off, but he's getting good 70 minutes or so. Minutes per expected goal involvement every 154 minutes. But he created 4 chances. Yeah, I like him. I'd like to have a Spurs attacker against my own team, Brighton's defence. If they play a high line, I think Van Heck may be out, which means Webster could get the nod again. So if you're playing a high line with Webster and Dunk, and you're facing Son, Johnson, Solanke, that could be nasty for my team. And final play, Gordon. I got rid of him, and he my wildcard rewarded me with a goal. Obviously, 14 chances created. He's ticking along there, 7.3. This is why I like that price point because you can move. I want to get keep that sort of 6 to 8 million price point in midfield because I want to at some point when Newcastle's fixtures turn. Or if I just want to get a reliable player, Gordon I think is the player to get him there. So yeah, lots of options for me to consider, and that's something I'm going to have to consider on Saturday morning. So I'm coming off the back of a good time to mention, coming off the back of a bad game week. Lots of people coming off with bad game week and people worrying about the decisions they're making and all these types of things. Okay, there's 2 things to note there. One is the decisions you make about transfers of little shirts on a screen that correspond with actual players in real life that may or may not get returns has absolutely no bearing on decisions you make about your life, your family, your home, your work. They are completely different. So don't suddenly think, oh my God, I got a really bad score, I must be awful at life. Do not in any way entertain that thought. Their danger lies. The other thing is, in my experience of, I don't know, 16 seasons or so of doing this, if you have a bad game week, one of the worst things you can do is sort of go on tilt. It's to start. I'll make those transfers. I'll take that hit. I'm going to overhaul my team and make more decisions that might go wrong, and it gets worse and worse. And when I've been in this position before, I've tumbled down if I've done that. But the best thing to do is literally do nothing. And so, whilst obviously with things like injuries, or if you get the nod that a player's not starting, you've got to manage your team in that way, but don't go overboard. So I would be very, very happy to do nothing this week, and reassess and have 2 free transfers, and keep that going. So I'll show you my plans in a second as well. And also, this season, we're going to get a lot of this. They priced it well this season. Salah, Haaland, Palmer, Saka, a whole bunch of 7 million or so players. You've got Alexander-Arnold. You cannot have them all. Some people will go without Haaland, and that will enable them to get Salah, Palmer, Saka, for example, and they'll do well in a given week. Last week, Palmer owners did well. The next week, Haaland could get a hat-trick. He can do. He has done. And Haaland could get a hat-trick. Palmer could get an assist or nothing. Then it will swing back again as well. But that is no slight or critique of anyone's management style. That's just the way it is. Every week, I look at my team. So I put my team up. Every week I run the risk of having a bad game because I don't have, say, Watkins or Palmer. In order to get them, I have to perhaps do without Saka or Haaland, and any week they could do well. So you just got to think about it like that. This season, more than any others recently, is more prone to variance. Anyway, I thought I'd make that point there, because I've just been seeing a lot of things on my WhatsApp chats or on X from people who are almost like, oh, woe is me about it all. And honestly, first of all, it doesn't really matter, and secondly, this season, that's just going to happen, and you just got to suck it up, basically. Okay, let's have a look at fixtures. Planning ahead is another good way of getting over a bad game week, by the way. So I do this any week. So I've got the fixtures up on the screen. This is sorted by difficulty at Fantasy Football Scout from game week 7 to 13. And it shows that Everton, Leicester, Brentford, Manchester United, Ipswich. I've been told not to raise my eyebrows every time I say Manchester United in one of the other videos. But anyway, Manchester United, yeah, you can go for them. No, they're really good. Wolves and Man City and Tottenham, and then they've all got good fixtures. Brighton, Southampton, Bournemouth, Liverpool, especially from game week 9 onwards, when they've got Arsenal. I've got bad fixtures, but I don't agree with this. Liverpool are quite low down. I'll read out Liverpool's fixtures because they're quite integral to my plans. Okay, so over the next 7 or so fixtures, they've got Crystal Palace away, great. Chelsea at home, I think that's fine. Arsenal away, that's bad. Brighton at home, wowzers. Salah captain maybe. Aston Villa at home, that's not bad. Aston Villa conceding. Southampton away, that's captain Salah time maybe. Man City at home, game week 13. So it's really that Arsenal Man City games that have dipped them down. But I actually want to start investing in Liverpool more. I've already got Alexander-Arnold. I probably won't have Diaz by then, but I want to get Salah because Man City have a couple of away matches, Tottenham at home. So I just feel that it's possible that Salah could be the better captaincy shout, maybe. But I'd like to own him at the very least. So my plans are game week 7. I mentioned about Diaz, possible minutes problems. I'll move him down to Johnson and McNeil. That will free up around about $1 million and a half for me. If I get McNeil, it'll free up a couple of million. Or I could just do nothing and just hope for the best. Or I could just play Chris Wood and just bench Diaz. Game week 8, I'm thinking of moving Diaz anyway onto possibly Johnson or indeed McNeil. So in game week 8, Everton got Ipswich away, good fixture for McNeil, and Johnson at Spurs have West Ham at home, so it's a home game. So I'd be quite happy to move Diaz to Johnson anyway. So he's the one I'm really got my eye on. Frees up 1 million. Game week 9, I'm looking at moving Havertz. So Arsenal have Liverpool at home. Okay, not greatest of fixture. Meanwhile, Kuna's good run for Wolves starts. Brighton away, great. So moving Havertz to Kuna. So that obviously frees up another 1.5 million or so. And then game week 10, Arsenal have got, they're in the middle of a sort of a poor run. I think Saka could do well. He's got, I mentioned about his amazing floor. If he was a carpet fitter, he's got an amazing floor. He will get assists, Gabriel, I would imagine. But yeah, he's got Newcastle away and then Chelsea away. So it's not ideal, but I think I prefer Salah then in game week 10. I certainly want the option at home to a couple of home matches, Brighton and Aston Villa, and then Southampton. I just feel Salah might get more than Saka. And then Haaland, yeah, I'd keep Haaland through this, but I'm not averse to losing Haaland. But I feel I'll keep Haaland. He hasn't really done, just blank once, and scored it midweek again. So I think he's pretty reliable. So I'd kind of like to go back to sort of a Haaland Salah draft, but it would be different to my pre-wildcard version of that, in that all the other players are better. Semenyo, Brian Bomo. I've got Alexander Arnold. I've just had better players. I mean, I had like Barco and Kwanzaa and stuff like that before. That's poor. So that's my sort of vague plan at the moment. I mean, I'm quite happy to, once again, with these vague plans. I think I saw one comment last week when I go through this bit, and people say all I can see is someone doing a wildcard, then saying why they want to replace everyone. Well, this is just planning, and also I'm quite happy to keep Diaz. I'm quite happy to keep Havertz. I'm quite happy to keep Saka. These are all moves I could make, but I don't mind not making. But I just think they could be a little bit better. And I just look at, around about this time last season, I got Salah in against my team Brighton because I noted a different manager, different setup, but similar sort of kamikaze defence, and Salah in good form. And I think Son was the popular captain at that time, that week, but I went for Salah and it was great, and it shot me up the rankings. He was quite, relatively low owned at the time. So I do quite like to get Salah against, sadly, my team. But yeah, so okay, that's my plans. I'll put my team up again, and I'll just read it out again, especially for the benefit of those listening to podcasts, because sometimes people read out their teams and it's like, well, hang on a minute, who have they got? Anyway, I've got Flecken in goal in a 3-5-2, Alexander Arnold, Gabriel, Rico Lewis. In midfield, Semenyo, Luis Diaz, Saka, Brian Bomo, Rodgers, and then up front, Havertz. Haaland's my captain. For Bruggen's on the bench, Chris Wood, ready and waiting, first sub. Mikalenko, ready and waiting as my first defender sub. And then Greaves sitting there nicely as a 4.0. Okay. Hope that was informative. A bit about my plans. Good luck with the game week. Good luck with recovering from a bad game week. If you captained Palmer, you don't need any luck. You've already had it. So good luck and see you soon.